There are some movies which are simply impossible to explain. Hello, Namaskar, welcome, Swagatam. Yet another movie has basically skipped the theaters in India and come to Amazon Prime Video. This movie with a compelling star cast is The Green Knight. In this episode of Stencil Talk, let us talk about why I found this movie to be visually amazing and amazingly difficult to tolerate at the same time. The titular character, the Green Knight, is played by Ralph Ineson. However, you will be hard pressed to comprehend that it was indeed Ralph because of the prosthetics and makeup, and the fact that he hardly speaks in the movie. And for that matter, it isn't in fact the story of his Green Knight, because the story's protagonist is Sir Gawain, played by Dev Patel.
But it is not complete.
The intense British actor Sean Harris plays King Arthur. In his voice, the medieval English dialogue do really seem legendary. On the other hand, the lovely ladies Alicia Vikander, Sarita Chaudhary, Erin Kellyman, Kate Dickie, they have also lent their talents to the movie, but the movie after all is about Sir Gawain. First of all, this is a mind-bending movie, a disturbing thing to watch, to say the least, because this is not a simple story of a knight in shining armor saving a damsel in distress and thwarting a menacing villain. No, what the story is can only be expressed as the one word: twisted. You'll know what I mean in a moment. This is a passion project of producer, writer, director David Lowry, who directed movies like Pete's Dragon and A Ghost's Story. His style of unusual storytelling is reflected in each frame of the movie, The Green Knight. The story is based on a medieval poem by the name of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. But as I said, it is a twisted retelling of the story. The story begins with the introduction of Gawain, a young man who is the son of a witch, Morgan Le Fay, and nephew to the king, King Arthur, and not a knight yet. Gawain has the habit of drinking. He is not a womanizer, but he does have a lady lover, Essel. She adores him, loves him, but she isn't fit to be an honorable man's wife. On the morning of Christmas, the king and his valiant knights of the round table have gathered for the celebration. The celebration is interrupted by the titular knight, who poses a friendly game, a challenge, a duel.
Indulge me in this game.
The conditions of the challenge are not simple. Whoever accepts this challenge should duel with the Green Knight and attempt to strike him. If they succeed, the Green Knight would grant the winner his legendary axe for 1 year. But the twist is, at the end of 1 year, the winner of the challenge must submit to the Green Knight and accept the same strike dealt to him as he had dealt to the Green Knight. Trust me, as complex as it sounds, it is more complicated when you hear it said in the movie. Unless you are someone who is well versed in the Arthurian legend, or at least is familiar with the story of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. Anyways, so our protagonist volunteers and strikes the Green Knight. Is this a victory, or simply a foreshadowing of the same blow to be doled out to Gawain at the end of the year?
1 year hence.
After 1 year is over, would Gawain go to seek out the Green Knight? Why should he? And if and when he does, what would the outcome be? All these questions are explored in a weirdly inconsistent pace throughout the movie. The 1 year passes by in a jiffy. Gawain wastes the 1 year in merrymaking and drinking rather than preparing for a confrontation with the Green Knight. But when the time comes, he starts his journey to seek out the Green Knight to conclude the game's condition and accept his fate. Why? Because that was the condition he accepted. That was the covenant he made. And a knight is nothing if not honorable. And he seeks nothing more but glory.
What do you hope to gain? Honor.
But wait, there are more twisted things coming. Yes, this movie is a long one, just over 2 hours of runtime. This journey from Camelot to the Green Chapel, where this confrontation will take place, should have taken 6 nights. But we don't know how many days or nights it actually took because there is nothing to keep track of time with. In fact, in the movie, at one point, it is not clear whether he is still going forward to meet his challenge or he's returning back home without fulfilling his destiny. Gawain meets some weird characters on the path, each interaction weirder than the last one. He gets a cute companion, a fox, which eventually also turns weird.
Why do you stop me?
And ultimately, he faces the Green Knight, at which point his entire future flashes in front of him based on what choice he makes. Then he makes his final choice and the story ends, the movie ends. Now, if this summary seemed more or less okay, rest assured you will have plenty to be weirded out by if you were to watch the movie. The most amazing good point of this movie is the visual presentation. It is not just cinematography. The lighting and the color changes are beautifully done. It is a piece of art. This is not to say that all of that is pleasant. No, not at all. The entire movie is dark. Literally. Even during the day, the insides of the thick-walled, narrow-windowed castles are dark, which is natural, realistic, but it is so hard to see what is going on. There is literally zero scenes where the characters are visible and lit properly. There is always a directional light going on, leaving one side of the surface and most of the body in dark, except the very few short scenes which are shot out in the open. I watched a few especially dark scenes again in an HDR monitor. The outcome was marginally different, a little more artistic rather than simply poorly illuminated. But the point is, not everyone has an option of watching this movie in HDR or in theaters. So there is that. Aside from the illumination, the cinematography is unparalleled. There are tracking shots where the characters are walking or riding for a long distance, having dialogue and interacting with other people. Difficult to imagine how they managed to shoot those sequences. The color of the scene changed noticeably when the mood of the scene changed. That was nice to watch. There is surely a fair amount of CGI involved in making of the whole look of the movie. And not only the obviously CG things like the beautiful fox, red fox. Similarly, the music. Mostly eerie, sometimes haunting with a lot of choirs, and the music, although disturbing, was absolutely married to the movie, to the story. All this to say that the vision of making this movie is understandably and evidently top notch. But the story just didn't make any sense. At times, the long stretches of silence with almost no camera movement would seem boring. And I bet more than once you would have dozed off if you watched this movie in a theater. But well, that is neither here nor there. The Green Knight is a niche movie, which you would understand from the huge difference between what critics rate this movie and how audience feel about it. Even keeping the weirdness aside, there are unresolved things in the movie, unanswered questions, which leave you bewildered when the movie actually ends. First of all, in the very first scene after the prologue, there is a fire and a couple escapes the fire. I think everyone forgot about that throughout the movie. Then there is the fact that Gawain's mother is a witch. She and her coven actually summoned the Green Knight and initiated this challenge. Why? Was it for the king or for Gawain, her son? What was the significance of the axe? It was supposed to be something great, but for the most part it was kept locked in a box or carried on the shoulder as a heavy stuff. There is a short scene with naked giant ladies. That makes no sense. All I could think was that the director, David Lowery, the person with the magnanimous vision of making this movie, had to have a sequence with the naked giant ladies. Doesn't matter if it made zero sense in the narrative of the movie. Whether to chalk it up as a hallucination of a starving man or something that really exists in this world that they have created, I don't know. And the filmmaker perhaps didn't care. All in all, there is no doubt that this movie was made by a visionary. The only problem is that the story they told was too meta for an average person like me. I would never rewatch the movie nor recommend it to anyone. But for a really well-made, mind-bending audio-visual experience, which is not horror, mind you, just twisted, I give this movie, The Green Knight, 5 thumbs ups out of 10. If you got a different experience watching the movie, do let me know what you felt in the comments. Of course, when you do a bit of research, you uncover that there is more to this movie than meets the eye. But that shouldn't be how a movie is made. Like, there are a lot of videos, ending explain type videos on YouTube. Many great ones, but those are for fun. A movie watching experience should not need someone else to explain what the movie was about to enjoy it in hindsight. Like this movie, The Green Knight assumes that you know that the whole point of the story is to test Gawain's loyalty and purity. The moral being, a knight must be pure of intent and honorable and true to his word. If you knew the original tale of Gawain and the Green Knight, you will look at the movie in a different light altogether. And if you do, jump right down into the comment section and let me know your thoughts. As always, I am eagerly looking forward to your feedback and comments. If you liked this review, please do leave a thumbs up, and if you didn't like it, well, there is the thumbs down button that you can press. But either way, thank you for watching, and please make sure you share this video with all your friends and family. This is all from my side for today. I'll be back with another review or a different video on another topic. Till the next time we meet, do subscribe to my channel, The Versatile Doctor, to stay tuned with me and connect with me on social media. It is my pride and privilege to be able to connect with you through this video. Namaskar. While you are still on YouTube, how about you check out this video which YouTube thinks you would like. And right here in this playlist link, you will find all my teaser documents.